Okay, so for this video, we will be discussing how we can expand the format of our datasets to easily reveal more information about our data. And one of the options to get more information easily available to us is to add subtotals within our datasets. So to add subtotals, there's a few steps that need to be taken. The first thing we need to do is clear our filters in our dataset if you haven't already done so. So I'm going to click any cell within our dataset, go to the Data tab, and click Clear. Now the next step is to sort the appropriate column you want to have a subtotal for. Now depending on what your needs are, you can sort any of these columns. But let's say that we want to sort by the last name and then create a subtotal to sum the amount of cells for that person. Hopefully once we get the subtotals in here, you'll have a better understanding of what I'm talking about. So the most important step is to sort the column that you want to create subtotals for. And in our example, we want to sort by the last name. So what we need to do is click any cell in the last name column, come up to our Data tab, and click the Ascending Sort command. Now if we take a look at our dataset, all the atoms are together, then we have Brown, Davis, and then Evans. And our goal is to sum the amount of cells for each person. We could do this manually by inserting a row at the end of atoms, and then come to the cells column and add a sum formula. And there we go. Adam's total sales were $21,822. But could you imagine if you had thousands of records and manually go in, add a row, insert a sum formula to get the total amount of sales for that person? It would take forever, right? And this is where the subtotal command comes in handy. So I'm going to delete the row that we just inserted. Now that we have our last names grouped together, we can click any cell within our dataset, come up to the Data tab, and then all the way over here within our outline group, there's a subtotal command. If we give this button a click, a subtotal dialog box pops up and we have a few options to choose from. The first option is asking where we want to place the subtotal. At each change in the date column? No. We want to place it at the change of the last name column. So we can select this dropdown and click last name. And the second option is asking which function we want to place for our subtotal. Well, we want to sum the amount of cells, right? So we wouldn't want to use count. We can click this dropdown and select sum. But if you wanted to have the average, max, min, you could select those as well. But for now, we're going to select sum. And the third option is asking which column we want to add the subtotal to. Well, we can't sum region because the region column has text values. We want to sum the cells column. So we need to check cells and uncheck region. And if we click OK, watch what happens. So at the change of the last name, it added a subtotal to the cells column and summed all the cells above this row. So once again, Adam's total was $21,822, and Brown's total was $17,570. And at the very bottom of our data set, it also gave us a grand total of all the cells combined. You might have also noticed these lines and squares pop up on the left side of our spreadsheet. This is just showing how Excel grouped our data. And we can select these boxes to hide or to unhide certain sections of our data set. For example, if I click this one up here at the top, it collapses everything in our data set and only shows the grand total. But if we click the number 2, now it's just showing the total for each person, Adams, Brown, Davis, and Evans. And then if we click 3, it's showing all the details of each person. So if you had thousands of records and you only want to see the total of each person, It's very easy to click these options to make our spreadsheet more condensed and see the totals that we are looking for. And then from here, you can also expand the details of each person if you want to have a more in-depth look. For example, if I want to take a look at each of Adam's cells, I can click this plus sign and it'll expand all of Adam's details. Same thing for Brown. I can click this plus sign and then all the details for Brown open up. So these little grouping command buttons off to the side of our worksheet easily allows us to look at the data of our interest.